No, 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 no. God is really not playing with you. God is really not playing with y'all, and he's not playing with y'all playing with his name. He's not playing with y'all playing with his name. For the social experiment to have gone from one woman calls 30 churches to see if they will help her feed her infant baby who is crying in the background, who has not eaten since yesterday. You understand? A baby needs to feed every 4 to 6 hours, which means it's dying. The baby is dying. These 30 churches said no. They said no. Then the next social experiment was another woman calling those same churches to see if they are accepting donations, and they all said yes. We are accepting donations. And then the next social experiment to be a young man who goes out on the corner and asks drug dealers if they would be able to give him money to be able to provide food for a baby, a starving baby. And all 7 drug dealers went into their pockets and bought 7 cans of formula for a baby. And your pastors said no. Then turned around and said yes for donations.
We will be announcing our new plan by next week's services. Please don't give up on us. Please forgive us for not being prepared adequately in this situation. We will do better.
And the person who goes around calling churches and putting the voice of a baby crying in the background, and I say, really the person is low. So I don't apologize to the devil. Sometimes Christians get so weak, you forgot we're supposed to rebuke evil. So if you could pretend to have a crying baby to try to call churches and to trick people into things, do your little dirty deed, and it's just the spirit of a witch. It's a witch.
Oh, and to that bishop of Living Faith Church, Bishop Raymond Johnson, the one that in his sermon last Sunday called Nikali, the woman that is going around calling churches, a witch. He called her a witch, okay? And said that if you need help, there's WIC. I'm not obligated to help. Sir, you're a false prophet.
Yeah, the woman who's calling up all of your churches to see if they will donate a bottle of formula to her child who hasn't eaten since yesterday, she's lying. She's lying. Not entirely. Let me explain a second. She is giving you a half truth though, which is also a half lie. And she's doing it because she wants to make Christians look bad. That's why. She wants to make Islam look good and Christians look bad.
I'm not saying that there's no good churches. I'm saying there is a reason why Sunday morning is the most segregated time of the week.
It doesn't matter if WIC is available. She came to you. It doesn't matter if the government has programs. You are a church claiming to be messengers and leaders to follow Christ and Christ's ways. That's why you call yourself Christian. To be Christian means that you believe in Jesus and that you believe in Jesus' ways and that you want to be like him. So why I don't need to hear anything about WIC. I don't give a damn how many government programs are out there. If I come to you, the church, I would think you would be there for me or give a crap about me. Don't tell me go to WIC. But baby, there's something said that I just had to show you. He says, look, Muslims think they're right. The Christians think they're right. The Buddhists think that they are right. He said, what if we are all wrong? So this was a very important scene to me because he said, everybody thinks they're right. Everybody think they're the chosen. Everybody think they're special and this and that. But what if all of y'all are wrong in the end? Hello, everybody. Welcome to my channel. With today's video, I want to give you an update. Let me say before we get started, you need to see the end of this video. I am going to share a video clip, something you need to see. I couldn't help but think of this with what you see going on right now. So stay tuned, okay? Let's get more into it. This woman went very viral when, well, people said the veil has been lifted and churches have been exposed and they should have to pay taxes. She did a social experiment where she called churches. She called over 30 where she had a baby crying in the background. Now, she doesn't really have a baby, but she had a baby crying, the sound of a baby, saying that she needed formula, that her baby is hungry. And anybody knows you have to feed a baby. The baby will pass away if they don't have milk. So she was asking, do you have any formula or anything? And a lot of them were very dismissive towards her. And some even said, you have to go to our church for us to help you. And a lot of them just said, no, or go here, or no, we don't. Just flat out no, and hung up type of thing. So a lot of people are upset. A lot of pastors and preachers are sad about it, making videos because they can't believe it. Many people who are atheists and agnostic, who had deconstructed and left religion, said, we've been telling you how fake a lot of churches are. Of course, there are some that are still good, but there have been a lot of different opinions, and some people are saying, well, do you expect them to have formula and this and that? And my thing is this: I had said in the last video, it's about their attitude. They weren't kind, a number of them. They could have said, look, we don't have baby formula, but I can call the pastor and find out if we have any emergency funds or people within our congregation. Formula is kind of like $60 now. Let's see what we can do. Give us your name and number, your email, something. We'll contact you. We want to keep in touch with you. We don't have it right now. There was no compassion. That's the thing that stood out to me with a lot of these calls. There wasn't love or compassion. There wasn't a need to keep in touch with her to see what they could do if they didn't have it. A number of them just basically, no, we don't give formula to babies. We don't help mothers who babies need food type of thing. Now, there are churches that have pantries with, food you can cook, well, pastas and sauces and stuff like that. I don't know about baby formula, but it was the attitude, how a number of them were just not very kind, and they really didn't give a damn. Let's just be real about it. And now you have some pastors responding who are pissed off, and a few people, and look, it was shown what people already knew out here is that a lot of churches are big business. They don't all follow the word or the teachings of Christ to help people who are hungry. They don't help homeless people. I'm going to show you that. And some of them do. There are churches out there that do give to people that go to their churches. My thing is, I don't have to go to your church for you to have a kind heart. You claim you're practicing Jesus's teachings and all these things. So it showed a lot, and a lot of people are applauding this. And I'm going to show you a video of a pastor. This is the church. I believe this is it. Living Faith Christian Center. She called their church and they said, no, we don't have it, or just basically no. So I'm going to play the video of what the pastor has said. And once again, people are saying, look at what he's calling her. Look at his response. No accountability. And most of all, no love. That's what people are seeing, a lack of love, true love to a fellow human. So let's see what the pastor had to say from this church when she called the church, and basically they've been put on blast, even though she really didn't go in hardcore, just calling and showing the people, would they help a woman who needs formula for her baby? Again, if you don't have it, a follow-up, okay, let's get together. We can do something to help you. Most of them said no. One that did offer help was a mosque, Muslims, and 2 black churches that have a lot of black people. I don't like separating churches based on race, but it is called the black church, churches in predominantly black areas. Those 3 willing to help her and very concerned. And there was another one, a white man from Appalachian, from West Virginia. She actually visited his church, and he's gotten a lot of donations now. He didn't have much, but he offered to help her, an elderly man. So let's get into what this pastor is saying in response to her. He is pissed.
Have you guys seen this video of Nikali's where she calls the Living Faith Christian Center in Baton Rouge, Louisiana? She tells them, I have a 2-month-old. I don't have any formula. Can you guys help me? And they were like, no. Okay, well, they made a response video. So I'm going to play some of the clips for you guys, and then we can talk about it after that.
And the person who goes around calling churches and putting the voice of a baby crying in the background. And I said, really the person is low. So I don't apologize to the devil. Yeah, sometimes Christians get so weak, you forgot we're supposed to rebuke evil. So if you could pretend to have a crying baby to try to call churches and to trick people into things, do your little dirty deed, and you know, it's just the spirit of a witch. It's a witch.
How typical for him to say this. First of all, she didn't try to trick you into anything. You know, a lot of Christians will say that God tested people all throughout the Bible, like when he tried to make that man take his son's life and say, oh, no, I'm just messing with you. I really don't want you to take his life. I just wanted to see how faithful you were to me. And there are people who feel like God used her to test the churches. All she did was call up to see what your heart was like. Okay? You didn't have to do anything. And look, the results speak for themselves. A number of you just said, no, we don't do that. You don't go to our church. Oh, no, we don't have it. But it was most of all, I keep saying, the attitude. It wasn't love, giving, a follow up. What's your name? Something. Oh, my God. Well, let's see what we can do. Nothing. It was like, no, click type of thing. Okay. You failed the test. A number of you out there. Period. She's not a witch. She's not a demon or evil because y'all got exposed for not being really that giving to someone calling up in need. It doesn't matter if she had a baby or not. That's irrelevant. Okay. And he's embarrassed by it. So he's trying, like so many of them do. Oh, it's the devil. Oh, it's a demon. No, it's not. No, it's not at all. Sort of reminds me of like a preacher or anyone really into church where you decide to have sex and you get pregnant and then you said, oh, the devil made me do it. And the devil didn't make you do anything. That's what you wanted to do. And you gave in to your desire and temptation. And then you'll say, oh, it was a devil who tempted me. Please go somewhere with that crap. You're a human being. Okay. And she called and y'all failed the test, period. And y'all are upset about it. Okay, you're saying, oh, well, it wasn't a real baby. She's evil doing this. No. She called and y'all showed your heart. Never mind if you really had formula or not. You showed your heart, your attitude, your soul, your spirit, and your lack of warmth towards her. Love was not shown in a lot of these calls at all. Okay.
And my Bible says he do not allow that thing to live. A few little TikTok demons came up in here today. Please stay for the rest of the service. Please stay. But you will behave yourself. This is not one of them churches you're going to come and disrupt it. You will be dealt with very, very swiftly.
So basically, he calls her the devil, a demon, and a witch. And he says, I don't apologize to the devil. I'm sorry. What? And he said that Jesus didn't allow witches to live. That sounds kind of threatening if you ask me. And then he's like, all you little TikTok demons in my audience, if y'all act up, y'all will be dealt with. Whoa. So basically, instead of taking any accountability, he basically blames the girl for tricking him and using them, even though she was never going to actually get any of the formula anyways, so I don't understand how that's using them. But instead of being like, you know what, the Lord tested us, we did not pass, we're gonna do better on feeding starving babies next time. He's like, no, this lady's a demon. She's a devil. It's her fault, not ours. Okay. Jesus would never. Like, what? Okay, let me play another clip.
Every mother that had a baby, what's the first thing they give you before you leave? Put it on the screen. It's coming up. Okay. Now, this is on the Louisiana website for WIC. And the first thing you're going to see, they say, we open. Even though they got people of mental levels that I'm not sure about in D.C., but in Louisiana, your WIC still works. And
it doesn't matter if WIC is available. She came to you. It doesn't matter if the government has programs. You are a church claiming to be messengers and leaders to follow Christ and Christ's ways. That's why you call yourself Christian. To be Christian means that you believe in Jesus and that you believe in Jesus' ways and that you want to be like him. So why I don't need to hear anything about WIC. I don't give a damn how many government programs are out there. If I come to you, the church, I would think you would be there for me or give a crap about me. Don't tell me go to WIC. I mean, that is you are doing the Lord's work by telling me about available programs that's local and stuff that could help me. But at the end of the day, if I'm asking you, why can't you help me? You are a church.
So this is what you do. So for all the little TikTok demons, since y'all don't know how it works, this is where you get your milk.
So basically in that clip, he's like, just get on WIC. You should have known that you should just get on WIC. How does he know this mother's not on WIC and just didn't run up for the month? Like, the amount of money that WIC is going to give you is not enough to cover a newborn baby. And I think that the reason why is because women are expected to breastfeed, especially when they're that little, but sometimes milk dries up. Sometimes mothers are on medication to where they can't breastfeed. Sometimes the baby just won't latch. Or sometimes the mom just doesn't want to breastfeed, which is totally fine. But to be like, well, you should have known that you could just get on WIC. Every mother who has a baby is told about WIC. Get on WIC. Is a crazy response, in my opinion. Anyways, let's see the next clip.
That's what I told him. I said, if you're hungry, how many of y'all ever been to Ruth Chris? Okay, but if you get to Ruth Chris, walk up in there and tell the people you're hungry and don't have some money. You're going to jail.
This ain't Ruth Chris, baby. There's a difference between a steakhouse and a church. To compare the two, well, if you go to Ruth Chris and ask for food, what they gonna do? Baby, it ain't the same. Disgusting. But I'm happy he posted this, so now y'all getting to see how some of them really are.
Go to Albertson and tell them you're hungry. Excuse me? No, go to the bank and tell them I need some money, but I don't have a check. I just want some money. They have a silent button they about to press. You're going to jail. So it's amazing how people have sense other places. But you get on social media and you can let a witch take your mind and take you to another place.
Yeah. He compared going to a church for help to going to a bank and asking them for money. Or going to a restaurant and asking for free food. You're a church. Your job is to help people. The whole premise of a church is to bring community and help one another. Love thy neighbor, right? So to sit here and compare somebody going to a church, which is known to be a place where people go for help, to going to a bank and being like, I want money.
I know, it's absolutely crazy. And there are people who are atheist and agnostic who would help her. And he wouldn't help. Oh, well, why do you come here? You a church? And he would call an atheist and an agnostic person a demon, a witch, a lost soul. But they have more humanity and compassion to help her than you do. Do y'all see? Y'all see?
Like, what? He really, like, does he really believe this? Does he really believe that those two things are similar or the same? Does he really think? And honestly, a lot of the times if you go into a restaurant and you're hungry, they'll give you something. Because when I worked at a coffee shop, it was like a little cafe, so we had food too. Sometimes homeless people would come in and be like, hey, can I get something to drink? And I'd be like, hell yeah. Hell yeah. I mean, to be fair, I was working at a nonprofit that helps a homeless shelter, so I was like, kind of on brand to help, you know, people who are homeless. But like, I wasn't technically supposed to be doing that. But at the end of the day, I'm not going to just let somebody be thirsty and hungry, especially when it's in the dead of summer and it's hot. But for a church, you're just going to be like, nah, be hungry. You shouldn't be up in here asking for free stuff. Give me that money. Like, what? This man is weird, bro. Anyways, let me know what you guys think about this whole situation in the comments.
Okay, so this was disgraceful to me, and there was another one who was upset. So let's get into more of these videos from the public, and again, at the end of the video, a video clip that I just had to share with you.
No. God is really not playing with you. God is really not playing with y'all, and he's not playing with y'all playing with his name. He's not playing with y'all playing with his name. For the social experiments who have gone from one woman calls 30 churches to see if they will help her feed her infant baby who is crying in the background, who has not eaten since yesterday. You understand? A baby needs to feed every 4 to 6 hours, which means it's dying. The baby is dying. These 30 churches said no. They said no. Then the next social experiment was another woman calling those same churches to see if they are accepting donations, and they all said yes. We are accepting donations. And then the next social experiment to be a young man who goes out on the corner and he asks drug dealers if they would be able to give him money to be able to provide food for a baby, a starving baby. And all 7 drug dealers went into their pockets and bought 7 cans of formula for a baby. And your pastors said no, then turned around and said yes for donations. Oh, God is not playing with you people anymore. He's not in your church. Jesus is not in your church. The Holy Spirit is not in your church. You have been lying on his name, and he has finally put it out for everyone to see. Anything that's done in the dark shall come to light. He not playing with y'all.
Damn, look, I'm getting chills. And I mean, I always said a church is a place where people congregate to have community and talk about the Bible. That's the religion, the culture. I consider it a culture that they believe in, or so they claim. But it's also a place full of horrible people who have issues trying to be fixed and all that other stuff. And you have these pastors and priests living in big old mansions, but yet people that go to their church can't even always pay their mortgage, or they need things done in their life. And it's just a lot of things you see all over the place. And you have a lot of people, I've seen so many people who are racist people of all races who go to church and or believe in Yahweh, but yet they say the most disgusting things about other groups of people. They don't believe in interracial marriage. I mean, but yet you claim to be about love, and it's all about God and Jesus, and no one cares about these missing kids. They're pro-life, and then you have the baby, and then they don't want to help you. They don't want to help foster care. They don't want to adopt if they could, even if they have kids of their own. You see it all. I always say, just look at the world. I said this in a different video. Half of the world claims to be religious, and look at it. And look how women are treated and raped every single minute, literally, and children, and all types of things that we see. Okay? And again, it feels really good when you're able to help someone. Now, again, I had said in my other video, if someone's trying to use you, because that happens, they don't never call you, they don't love you, they don't like you, but they're using you, they don't want to pay. It's a lot of stuff I could say, but that's a little bit different. But I have seen, though, a lot of people stepping up, everyday people who are going to Dollar Tree, Walmart, and just buying stuff and giving to food pantries or having food pantries in their neighborhood. There are good people out here. Okay, my thing is that the church claims to be all about love and God, and we need Jesus. Jesus is king. Jesus said to love thy neighbor, and you gotta help. No, I've seen so many of them condemning women for being raped. Oh, you shouldn't wear this and that, or always just dissing women. A lot of them, and not being what they claim Jesus was and represented, and they want to get your money. A number of them, and have this big old power trip. A lot of them have this power trip, and they want to feel powerful, and they want to run people and kind of be like God on earth. This is what some of them want to be. So she's saying, look, this was a revelation. More is being exposed. Now, there were people who already knew this, but there's a lot of people who didn't, and they are absolutely in shock with what they're seeing.
God said, all shall be revealed, and it shall be revealed today. No longer shall this happen in my name. That's what he said. Your pastors have turned a house that was supposed to be for worship into dens of robbery. Dens of robbery. And God said, no more. No more. No more. And it's now up for you all who have discernment to see exactly what type of church you've been going to, what type of pastor that you've been going to worship with, because who is he worshiping to? He's using God's name. He's using Christ's name in vain. And then for some of their responses to be, the church is not obligated. The church is not obligated to help the people. The entire church needs to crumble. So many of these churches, they need to crumble. God is tired. God is upset. He's over it. And not only that, God said, I need all my people to find me. I need them to find me. And they keep thinking that they can find me in here. I'm not here no more. And he needed to reveal it to everybody so that they can see those who are actually seeking him. They need not go to these churches because he's not there. He's not there, and he wanted those people to know that. Let me tell y'all something. I may play in this world. I may dibble dabble, but I'll never play on God's name. I'll never play on God's name. And the fact that y'all built churches on his name and have been playing on it. Oh, baby, what awaits for you in hell? Oh, it's a punishment that I hope that I don't even have to even think about.
All right, well, I don't believe in hell like y'all, like the whole burning and fire thing. But I will say this. I mean, there are a lot of people. I mean, people aren't leaving the churches because of this video, but some people are looking closer at the church they go to. Like, wow, would they help me? What kind of pastor am I following? What kind of pastor am I following? And in the Bible, it says that the church is in you, meaning that it's not a building. It's you as a person. You as a person helping people. It's not just helping, but just trying to be a nicer person. Like, don't start things with people. Don't start arguments. Now, if you come at me, then yeah, I have a right to defend myself type of thing. But but things are being revealed about the hearts of the pastors, the churches that claim to be about Jesus and God. And we got to get saved. I got to save people. You know, I got to heal their souls. I got to be there for them. That's why we tithe. You tithe. But a lot of times they'll say tithe because, oh, God is going to answer your prayers if you give me this money and all that and keep the church going. Now, well, times are hard. Inflation, the EBT crisis, and people are calling churches and coming to church. And now it's time, especially for the churches, to show, look, are you what you say you are as a church? That's what you say. You said you're like Christ and stuff to help people, the lost sheep, the lost flock, and all that other stuff. And, you know, are you going to be there? And unfortunately, like the first video I showed, just disgusting. Would you go to a steakhouse and ask? Would you go here? Would you go to a bank? I mean, this is absolutely craziness to me. You know, well, not that shocking, but to a number of people. I've seen some pastors who are heartbroken with what they're seeing. Okay. And, I mean, I see how people are every day on social media. You see homeless people everywhere. You see people, very, very racist all across, all everywhere. You know, other countries and stuff. But yet everybody got a God they believe in. I believe in Buddha. I believe in Muhammad. I believe in Jesus. I believe in Krishna. I believe in that. But yet you have caste systems. Y'all be murking women over dowries. We got all these missing kids. Y'all be raping women every minute. Men ending men's lives over stepping on their shoe. The food we're eating is poison and rotting all over the place. Elderly people being arrested for stupid stuff, can't even survive. Veterans thrown out. It's a lot going on where, baby, I didn't need this social experiment to know all of this. Just look around. Look around. Okay. And again, every religion I mentioned has some good people everywhere. Unfortunately, I mean, every day we see a lot of the toxic bad stuff that is filling the earth, and, you know, the way you see people treating people just because, oh, their color is different or their tribe is different, their religion is different and all of that. But everybody believes in God. I'm going to heaven. Honor markings. My daughter decided to actually choose who she wanted to marry, or was a little Americanized in America. Oh, you ate the last piece of peanut butter sandwich and taking lives and all types of stuff we see. All types of stuff. So let's get more into it. Let's look a little bit more.
This nut is calling churches asking for formula for her baby that she says is starving. And when the churches cannot provide her formula, she blasts them all over social media.
Out Muslim zakat. It's one of the 5 pillars of Islam, where Muslim communities and Muslims are obligated to provide charity to the community. Churches get scammed all of the time.
I'd like to have my own social experiment, if I could, for just a second. If somebody walked in the back door right now asking for a can of baby formula, how many of you would help? Just show by a raise of hands. There's your social experiment.
Do you see that? That pastor said, I'm going to do a social experiment. If someone came in asking for some baby formula, how many of you would help them? Do you see how many of them kept their hands down? Only a splash of them raised their hand. He said, there goes your social experiment. That's what he said.
That's who GBC is.
So these are pastors who are reacting to the lady who has been doing a social experiment, calling churches to see if they would help her. But this is not even the worst thing that a church has done. Watch this clip.
I just want to park my car and sleep. I'm not bothering anybody by being here. I don't cause any trouble. All I do is park my car here and sleep. That's it. I don't know where else to go. So what do you think you're going to accomplish by this, ma'am? Because it's not going to make you look good. I suggest both of you open the Bible and see. Look what it says about homeless people and poor people and what you're supposed to do. Because it's not this. It's not this. And you know it. But I expect nothing from the church. I hope you're not turning that off.
Okay, so what happened, I think she was pretending, I don't know if she was 100% sure that she was homeless. She was sleeping outside of the church in the car, and they said they're going to call the police on her if she doesn't leave. So she confronted them like the Bible says to help homeless people, and they didn't give not one damn. They still threatened to call the cops, and they were very unkind to her. Yes, God's people, God's flock, God's sheep. Jesus, I believe in Jesus. Jesus is the savior of humanity. I live like Christ. That's why I am Christian. I love my neighbor. I feed the poor. I care about you. Bullshit for a number of them who claim to be Christian. Those hardcore ones always talking about they love Jesus, but yet the things they do, a number of them is complete opposite. Okay? So let's look at this video of the original creator who did the social experiment. Here's her response to some people who are upset that she did that and churches got exposed, okay?
Okay, so I wanted to come on here and talk about something really quick because it's heavy on my heart. So when I started this experiment, literally the day before I started, I was just like sitting here and I'm just like talking on the phone. I'm like, tomorrow I'm going to start calling up churches just to see if they would help somebody that's like really in need. And that's just how it got started. It wasn't out of ill intent or to test churches to be mean or like whatever. I don't fall under like a religion. I am spiritual. I do believe in a higher power. So I do feel like I was called to do this experiment. I will say this though. I didn't want to focus on the negative in this experiment. So I wasn't really paying too much attention to the ones that said no because of that. Because like getting told no a lot was really depressing and it was hard on me to hear it because I would go and, oh my God, like they would have literally let like a baby go hungry. And so that was really hard on me emotionally. Like it really took a toll on me. So it was really hard. So whenever I got a yes, I focused on that yes. I focused on that church that said yes, that person that said yes. Because that was what was driving me, was those yeses. And I will say this, I didn't realize today the impact of those churches until I went to your favorite Appalachian Pepos church. And he was telling me about the impact from the other side of the ones that got the no's. And he is friends with them. And he's like, they are good people. They do help the community. And I get that. And I don't want us to take this experiment and continue on with that negativity with no change. I would much rather these churches and us go, okay, like we're all human. We all make mistakes. We can all improve. We're all just human. Like none of us are perfect. And take that moment and go, okay, but what changes can we make to fix this? If we have to jump through hoops to feed a baby and it's going to take 3 weeks to feed them, or we have to wait and talk and decide if a baby gets to eat, that's something we have to fix. Like there has to be something in place to fix this so it doesn't happen again. And I understand like the fear of scams, but at the same time, I'm not going to let a baby go hungry because I'm worried it might be a scam. Like if it's that big a deal, have them come in, open that thing up and have them pull that little tab or whatever, like that seal. Like if it's that serious, if you think they're going to resell it. But There's definitely needs to be some changes, and I would much rather us look at them with the same compassion they expect to look at us. You know, if I go into a church, I don't want somebody to look at me and see my tattoos and see that I'm a lesbian or see that I'm a liberal and be like, you're not welcome in my church. You know, I would much rather us look at each other and accept us and our flaws and go, but let's work together. Let's find change. Let's grow. So again, I know that a lot of you want to leave negative reviews and, you know, look at.
Okay, so she wants change to happen. She's thinking about starting a website for people to help each other. And, you know, you shouldn't, she said, I don't want to be judged for my tattoos and my sexuality, being that she's homosexual. But that's the thing with church. The Bible literally says that it was an abomination. It's in the Bible. So most of them are never going to agree with that because that's a contradiction to the faith that they follow. They're not going to support that lifestyle because it's not supported in the Bible. So don't expect that to ever happen. You're just not going to see that for a number. That would be a slap in the face to their God, as they say, and the religion that they follow. So, but it does say in the Bible that just because people are different, still show them love and compassion and not be mean, even people who are foreigners coming into your country, because it says that when the Israelites were put into Egypt, that some people showed them kindness, even though I keep hearing they was enslaved in Egypt, the story in the Bible. But either way, that's what it says. Don't be mean. Basically, don't be a butthole, don't be mean type of thing. Okay? So let's see a response from a woman who was upset with her.
Yeah, the woman who's calling up all of your churches to see if they will donate a bottle of formula to her child who hasn't eaten since yesterday, she's lying. She's lying. Not entirely. Let me explain a second. She is giving you a half truth though, which is also a half lie. There are numerous people who are in her comment section calling her out for actually calling their churches. They've agreed to give formula, and then she's never posting that video. And all she's doing is posting the videos of Christian churches who are saying, no, they don't have formula, and no, they can't help. And she's posting some of the mosques to say, yes, they will. So she's being very picky choosy over the churches that she's saying, oh, yep, they said yes, they said no, to make it look as though the majority of Christian churches are turning her away. That is where the lie is. Now, I will also say, on the other hand here, to the churches who genuinely did say no to her, shame on you. Shame on you. Am I Christian? No, I'm not. Do I believe in a higher power? Yes, I do. Do I believe in organized religion? No, I do not. You should not need to be a member of a church in order to get help. Is it clear that she's trying to scam people? Yes. Is it well known that she's trying to scam people? Yes. So a lot of these churches have caught on. But there were some that didn't. And there were some that were still saying no. Now, I don't know their financial situation.
There were people who did not support this video saying that you're upset, you are lying on her. How did she try to scam someone? What is she getting? She doesn't have a baby, so she was not going to get any formula. She didn't really need the formula. She wanted to see what their response would be to a woman in need and her baby is starving. She didn't ask for money. She didn't ask for anything but the formula, which was a social experiment.
I live in Houston. Joel Osteen has one of the biggest churches that is here, and everybody around here knows that he's a piece of shit. And what's even more sad is that people still continue to support him and his wife and him being a piece of shit. He did the exact same thing during the hurricane 7 years ago. I wasn't even here in Houston during that time. I'm sorry, 9 years ago, because it was the year right before we moved down here. He refused to open his doors to allow people who were literally drowning in their homes and allow them to have a safe space to go and a safe bed to lay in, because he said it was God's will not to do so, to save the church. That's a piece of shit. You are a piece of shit. You are not a man of God at that point. And unfortunately, are there other churches that are like that? Absolutely. But I think that we need to have a more nuanced conversation around it, because that girl who's calling out these churches is being very picky choosy. And she's doing it because she wants to make Christians look bad. That's why. She wants to make Islam look good and Christians look bad.
Anyone could say something on the internet. Oh, my church was going to give to her. Well, you can't have random people. Are these people who work for the church calling up saying this? How do we know they're not trying to save face and are saying these things? How can you prove that she only showed a person, the mosque, Muslims helping her, and the Christians saying no? You can't prove that. She called over 30, and there were 2 or 3 Christian churches that she showed that said yes. She didn't edit anything to their responses or anything.
And you can take it one of two ways, right? You can either start to hold your churches accountable, which I hope that you do, or you can make the decision to leave the church and go to a religion that hates women and children at their core. Like if you read the Quran, they hate women and children. They hate LGBT. She's LGBT.
And Christians also don't like LGBTQ people, people who say they're true Christians, who actually read what it says in the Bible, that a man who lays with a man is an abomination. That's in the Bible. That's what it says. Okay? And it doesn't say anything about women getting down, but still, that's what it says. And since when do Christian men in America don't hate women and children? Have we not been looking at Red Pill and all of that even before Red Pill? Stay in your place. It's a woman's place, damn it. Oh no, I'm going to make my child have that baby from her rapist and all this other stuff. Look at how women are treated in America when you get raped. Thousands of grape kits just sitting there, not being tested, blaming the woman. What did you wear? Type of thing. We see this all the time. There is just as many Christian, so-called Christian men in America who don't like women as in other countries. Islam, as she said, some of them type of thing. We just have laws here that actually protect us more, and there are a number of men who want to change those laws to subjugate you as a woman. Men globally treat women like crap. It doesn't trump religion, how they feel and how they treat women. Religion is there to try to tame them and make them better people, and it hasn't worked for over 50% of them. Let's get into it.
Would literally throw her off of a roof. But hey, that's okay. As long as they pretend to be able to give a baby that doesn't exist formula, that's all that matters. Just, I think it's a shame, this whole situation all around, as somebody who is not religious. This is a shame regardless, because it's showing how easily or how greedy some churches are. But it's also not highlighting the positives of what's coming from church, and it's showcasing the positive in a very evil religion and not showing the negative in that evil religion.
Here's the thing. There are plenty of people who post videos about their churches giving and being good all the time. Now you have someone showing the other side that no, they're not all good. A number of them are greedy and don't give a damn about nobody. There was a woman who was a former stay-at-home wife who lost everything, and she's trying to survive. And she was saying just the other day how she was walking with a homeless man and how so many people were just cruel because he didn't look clean and told her, get out the way and all this other stuff. Just cruel. And I guarantee you, a lot of them go to church. A lot of them go to church. A lot of people always talking crap online about other races. They go to church. And if they don't, I believe in Yahweh. I believe in that. Oh, but this and that. And they say some of the most disgusting things. A lot of people are just not good people. You know, and every time something happens and say, oh, it's racism, it's this and that, just call it for what it is. You're not good people. You're evil. A lot of people are evil. You can call it all these different terms and stuff, but what it boils down to, a lot of people out here are not good people. A number of people. Church is just there to try to, well, they want to pretend to be good or try to help them be better. You know? So, and anytime they're who they are, they have to make up a make-believe devil to try to see, oh, well, I did it because the devil. So it makes people feel better. Like, oh, okay, it wasn't really you. No, it was you. It's what you wanted. You did what you wanted to do. And it was something that might not have been good. And you're trying to pin it on some make-believe man with a pitchfork in the inner earth with fire waiting for you. Every flaw, everything you want to do is demons. It's not demons or devils. It's you. But that's a whole different video.
So that was just my 2 cents on it as somebody who isn't a part of a church and has just been watching this whole debacle fly about. I think what she's doing had good intentions to begin with, and then it escalated when she got attention to showcase her hate towards Christians. And also, she's just not giving the full truth there.
She does not dislike Christians from the videos that I've seen. She actually wants to start some sort of website for people to help each other with donations if you need something. I actually saw someone do this. It's for Black people. This was on Instagram if you needed help. Okay. So, but with her, I think she's doing this for everybody. It doesn't matter what your race is type of thing. She hasn't done it yet, but she says that's something that she wants to do. Okay.
If you're angry about this video, rightfully so, you are focused on the failure of charity. But what if I told you the theology is functioning exactly as it should? Let me translate what the church is actually hearing.
I was just want to see if y'all were able to help with baby formula at all.
I am a poor woman calling to expose my needs to you. My body failed to provide naturally. I also failed to economically afford what I need. I'm about to make you really uncomfortable with the reality of poverty and women's bodies. I am asking you to affirm both as worthy of care.
Like, I don't need money or anything. I just need like a small little can.
I know you suspect I want money for drugs or something irresponsible. I'm trying to make this easier for you by asking for the product itself. But that actually makes it worse because now I'm asking you to personally participate in my failure, to go and buy the evidence of my inadequacy and hand it to me.
Would it be something y'all could get and I could pick it up?
Will you use your resources, your time, your money, your gas on me without verification? Will you let a poor woman make demands of you? Will you give away institutional power to someone who hasn't submitted to your process, proven membership, or earned access? Will you let me penetrate your boundaries?
Our benevolence is for our members.
Charity requires submission to our authority first. You must belong to us, attend our services, tithe to our budget, submit to our doctrine before we can help you. Because the church's economics is their sexual politics, which is their doctrine. They cannot be separated. A poor woman calling for formula threatens their control over who deserves help. It threatens their power to make people submit before receiving care. It threatens their fantasy that poverty is a moral failure. She is asking them to affirm that her body's reality is more important than their ideology, that her poverty doesn't disqualify her baby from eating, that need itself should be enough. Their theology cannot allow that, because if need alone is enough, they lose their power. When she says, "My baby is hungry," they don't hear a crisis requiring immediate action. They hear a threat to their entire system of control. Notice that she has to keep exposing her need. That exposure is not a side effect of the process. That is the process. The subordination is the point. The church wants to help the deserving poor, the ones who perform gratitude correctly, the ones who make them feel good about themselves, the ones who don't threaten their fantasy of charity as a controlled, safe transaction where they can maintain power. Let me say this clearly. A theology that's afraid of being taken advantage of is not Christianity, because Christ gave himself away indecently. No questions asked, no verification process, no concern for his reputation. This is just capitalism with a cross on top. If you enjoyed this, I welcome you to my Patreon community.
Damn, she says this is just capitalism with a cross on it, baby. I almost became Jehovah's Witness one time, y'all. I was talking to one and she was coming over talking to me and she seemed really nice. I went to their church and it almost felt a little cultish, just a little bit, but they were nice. But one thing she said to me that stood out was that if you join, you have to cut off your family and friends that you talk to. If they don't get down with us as Jehovah's Witnesses, we don't talk to them at all. You're done. You completely separate. And now you're Jehovah's Witness. Now, I don't know if it was just her and her beliefs or their church. Maybe some are different places, but that's what she told me, is basically if they don't have the same beliefs as you, we do not talk to them. They even have their own Bible, translated a little bit different, some stuff in it. They claim that it was given to them and, they were chosen and all this other stuff. And, interesting. So, let's see a little bit more.
Church, we were caught unprepared. And I want to talk to you about this for a moment here. Last week, a young woman ran a social experiment where she called local churches, pretending to have an infant in distress who needed formula. Now, our church office responded exactly as they have been trained to do. We point folks who contact our office in need to the community organizations that we support on a monthly basis who are equipped to handle these kinds of situations at scale. However, these are unprecedented times, and I come to you today with humility. Your leadership team is discussing this as a priority, as an urgent situation, because we should have handled this differently, and we will in the future. We need to be the hands and feet to Jesus. Beyond supporting those community organizations, folks who are desperate, I now realize, are not always going to know about those organizations or be able to get there. We will now be prepared for those calls of people in dire need, that we will be able to help them. Real, fake, it does not matter. If someone needs us, we will be there. I commit to you to doing better. We will be announcing our new plan by next week's services. Please don't give up on us. Please forgive us for not being prepared adequately in this situation. We will do better.
That was beautiful. And people said, now this is the right response. Taking accountability. Look, we messed up. We weren't prepared. And the people who work for us, I guess, said no. But even though there are programs that we can send you to or help you with, we're still someone you're coming to. So we will be there to help you. Wasn't that sweet? Wasn't that a sweet response to her? You don't see that many all responding like her. And she says, I'm sorry, we're going to do better. You see what I'm saying? And the original creator of the social experiment said, no one's perfect. People can change type of thing. Let's get into a next video.
Where in the Bible does it say that the church should feed the hungry? If anyone is poor among your fellow Israelites, do not be hard-hearted or tight-fisted towards them. Rather be open-handed and freely lend towards whatever they need. Give generously to them and do so without a grudging heart. Deuteronomy 15:7-11. When you reap the harvest of your land, do not reap to the very edges. Leave them for the poor and for the foreigner. Leviticus 19:9-10. Is this not the kind of fasting I have chosen? To share your food with the hungry and to provide the poor wanderer with shelter. Then your light will break forth like the dawn. Isaiah 58:6-10. Whoever is generous to the poor lends to the Lord, and he will repay him for his deeds. Proverbs 19:17. Now this was the sin of your sister Sodom. She and her daughters were arrogant, overfed, and unconcerned. They did not help the poor and the needy. Ezekiel 16:49. There are some specifically from Jesus, because we've been kind of in the Old Testament, so just to move directly from his mouth. For I was hungry and you gave me something to eat. Whatever you did for one of the least of these brothers and sisters of mine, you did for me. Matthew 25:31-46. When you give him a banquet, invite the poor, the crippled, the lame, the blind, and you will be blessed. Luke 14:12-14. Anyone who has 2 shirts should share with the one who has none, and anyone who has food should do the same. Luke 3:11. Blessed are you who hunger now, for you will be satisfied. Luke 6:20-21. If anyone gives even a cup of cold water to one of these little ones, they will certainly not lose their reward. Matthew 10:42. Specifically about the church giving back, because people are going to argue that was Jesus and Jesus is better than the church. I am the bread of life. Whoever comes to me will never go hungry. John 6:35, which is really interesting because also in the Bible multiple times they say that God is the church. The church is the home of God. So if you are going to the church, that means that you are going to God and asking for food. So if you go to the church and ask for food, by that scripture alone, you should not go hungry. All of the believers were together and had everything in common. They sold property and possessions to give to anyone who had need. They broke bread in their homes and ate together with glad and sincere hearts. Acts 2:44 through 47. Suppose a brother or a sister is without clothes and daily food. If one of you says, "Go in peace, keep warm and well fed," but does nothing, what good is it? And this was directly talking about churches that do not give back, but they still wish peace upon the people. James 2:14 through 17. You're going to love this one, guys. If anyone has material possessions and sees a brother or sister in need but has no pity on them, then how can the love of God be in that person?
Okay. Oh, hold on.
Let us not love with words or speech, but with actions and in truth. 1 John 3:17 through 18.
Okay, so she was showing what's in the Bible for people who say that they are Christian people, but they don't give a damn about anyone being homeless, or a lot of them make assumptions sometimes about people, and you don't know anything about their life and what happened, and they just have no empathy. Empathy is something that a lot of people should have. And again, I had said repeatedly through this video, you don't want to be used by people. But if you don't know somebody, you don't know them. You see them in a bad situation, and if you want to donate to them, you can, or if you want to give to a food pantry. And I say this, look, I don't get too personal in my videos, but I'm a very loving and giving person, but not to everyone, especially if I know for a fact you're not a good person, or you're not a good person, you don't F with me, you talk about me, you don't like me, you don't love me type of thing. You're trying to use me. And I had something like this happen with someone where they don't like me, they don't love me, they don't want to get to know me, anything like that. And they wanted to use me. You're trying to use me. I'm not stupid. And this was someone I would have helped. I honestly did not even have money at that time. And I was disgusted in my soul because they were using me. And I normally am not a nasty person with the way I speak, but I did sort of reject them in a certain tone. I'm not going to go into detail. But what they don't know is how bothered I was for months about it, because it hurt me to not be able to help them, and how they could tell, like, from what I ain't gonna go into detail. And I'm thinking, they probably think, oh, this is such and such, and I needed her, and look how what she said, and she wasn't there type of thing. But they don't know how bothered it was and how it hurt me. Because I do believe if I can give to strangers in a charity, and I'm related to you, I should, and if I like you and I'm related, I should be able to help you before some stranger type of thing. I can't go into a lot of detail, but this person was using me. And that's what hurt me and why I had an attitude, because I'm not slow or stupid, and you don't know me. This person is related. You don't want to know me. You don't even probably know my real name. You don't give a damn. You never call me. And when I have been around you, you don't even talk to me. And then you try to use someone else, and then you call and trying to use me now type of thing. And it would be different if they handle it differently. If there was a relationship where you wanted one, no, you just tried to use me type of thing. And it's not the first time that has happened. And I'm not going to say too much. And that pisses me off, because if we were close, you would know my heart. You would see my heart, but you don't get close because, well, I can't trust you. You haven't shown to love or like me. And some people are not good people. And I'm not going to be someone that you can just use. So you can I'm saying this where, have a good heart, be loving, be respectful. But if you know some people personally in your life who are literally just trying to use you, they don't like or love you, they talk about you, all of that, you're not obligated to have to do anything. You can actually have more friendships with people who are not related to you, and strangers and homeless people, than some people you're actually related to, because I'm seeing a lot of these videos popping up talking about people, you better help your family thing. And I do think that is important. Oh, yes, the key thing is if you have a relationship with them. People forget that there are people who don't have relationships with family members. They don't have good ones with family members. You have family members who treat you more dirty and nasty and do things to you than people you ain't even related to. But then they want you to do the butt kissing with blood. I'm not doing that. I'm about good people. I don't care who you are, if you're related to me or not. If you're good to me, I'll be good to you. If you do me dirty, you disrespect me, you use me, you talk about me for filth, you wish ill on me, I'm not fucking with you. And it's sad if they don't know how good, how loving and giving you are. But they would have known if they just would have been good to you. But anyway, let's see the video response about the woman who was pretending to be homeless or was homeless, and the church turned her away.
A church in Michigan decided to call the police on a homeless woman who was just trying to park her car in their parking lot and sleep. She wasn't causing any trouble or bothering anybody, and take a look at the way they treated her. This is truly unbelievable.
I just want to park my car and sleep. I'm not bothering anybody by being here. I don't cause any trouble. All I do is park my car here and sleep. That's it.
That's not very Christ-like in my opinion. That's the complete abandonment of the Christian values they pretend to stand for. It's not like she was asking for money or food or to be sheltered inside of the building, which of course the church should have provided for her anyway. But she was just asking for a place to exist, a space in the corner of the parking lot where she could come at night to rest. It really bothers me churches like that receive tax breaks. They're supposed to be places of charity that help out people in need. But when a real human being is right in front of them needing help, suddenly the gospel vanishes. That's the unfortunate result of trying to justify mass homelessness in this country, saying all of them are just lazy and don't want to work. But people are suffering. The cost of living keeps skyrocketing as wages stay stagnant. Mental health and disability services are underfunded, and the social safety net is shredded. Churches with their resources, land, and mission could help fill that gap, and some do. But that video is proof that some of them have forgotten their purpose.
Stupid liberal pranks that don't prove nothing and sad attempts at gotcha moments are two of the things that I have heard Christians saying about this woman that's calling churches. And, you know, the original response being, you know, her multitude of videos, the secondary response being people, you know, reasonably reacting to it. But this sort of third level, this tertiary response of Christians trying to tell people, well, you just don't understand what Christianity is, or you just don't understand the purpose of the church. Clearly, the purpose of the church is to extract 10% of your money and not do anything except for convert more Christians. Because literally, what is the point of all the Bible verses and the saying how good you are? Like, all it's doing is just adding another data set to what everybody that's not almost every single Christian in this country already knew. You're pieces of shit that do not care about other human beings unless they are white and conservative. And on top of that, Protestant conservative. You don't even think Catholics are Christians, the original Christians.
Baby, I always say, look, how the hell did slavery happen and you believed in God and you was a Christian? Now, slavery is justified in the Bible. Oh, yeah, it is. Throughout the Bible, slavery is condoned. And maybe in their warped minds, the slave masters and stuff believe, well, shit, it's in the Bible and God didn't have a problem with it. My thing is, as a human being, why do you want to enslave someone? In your heart, you should know something like that is wrong. And not just over here in America, slavery in Africa, slavery in the Middle East, slavery in Asia, because yes, slavery has happened globally. And it's just disgusting to me. But to be Christian and to believe in slavery, but yet you believe in love and compassion is a complete contradiction.
What are we supposed to do with this information except literally call it out for what it is? You are monsters that hate everyone and don't give a single fuck about children unless they're in the womb and you can legislate for it. You are totally fine with a 12-year-old giving birth to her rapist's baby, but not fine with apparently buying that 12-year-old a can of formula.
They don't even want to execute the rapists. And in the Bible, it says eye for an eye in the Bible. These babies getting smirked and raped, and these evildoers just go to jail for a couple of years and sometimes months. It's craziness to me.
So please, miss me with all of your performative Christian horseshit that is clearly not in sync with reality, because 2/3 of those churches, via the data set, and almost across the board, the ones that said no, were heavily white Christian conservative churches. Oh, we couldn't. Oh, you're not a member. You're not an active member. No one, like, even more so now than before, no one is ever going to convince me that Christianity in this country is anything other than a death cult that wants to control women's bodies.
Y'all keep asking me what do I think about the lady calling all the churches. That's not surprising to me at all. I don't know why that would be surprising to anybody. If you have been to any of these evangelical churches, they do not seem like they're giving out resources or money. If they don't want poor people at their church, they don't want black people at their church, They do not. This is why Sunday morning is the most segregated time of the week. It doesn't surprise me that the black churches that they called did offer to help. I do not think that black churches just steal people's money and don't help people. My parents pastor, they have been pastoring for 40-something years. If a lady called my mama with a baby crying, she not only would have been fed, she probably would have let her move in our house.
No, some of them definitely pimping and taking money, especially some of these mega churches. Yes, some of them do. But do a number of them have compassion still? Yes, a number of them do as well. You got a mixture going on. You have white people leading the churches who help and who don't, and black ones leading the churches who help and they don't. I mean, I showed you the video, the first video.
If she needed someplace to stay. My parents have moved whole entire families in. The mama, the daddy, and all the kids have moved in with us. We've had cousins live with us. We've had multiple people's children live with us. They have bought people's whole Christmas. They buy people's whole Christmas every year and have been doing so as long as I can remember. Everybody is not like that. It doesn't surprise me that the black churches was going to give them something. Now, some black churches probably is money hungry, but that's typically not a black church thing. Black churches will feed kids. Black people in general will feed hungry people in general.
Yeah, I have to say, when I did go to church a few years ago, it was mostly black, and I said that it was a sweet little old lady in there and how they would meet up after church and at a business or something, someone's business. And yeah, they would have food and stuff and would eat and just hang and congregate with each other.
That's not really our problem. Our problem is we be overdoing it on the trying to be good to everybody. The white people is more in line with what the Bible actually says than the black churches, because the black churches operate differently, but it don't be according to the Bible. The Bible, if we're going by the Bible, the evangelical churches be more on point. They'll say that the Bible supports slavery. It do. The Christianity that black people practice is not of the Bible. And that's why I be like, the Bible don't really be our book, because I'm not saying that as there's no good churches. I'm saying there is a reason why Sunday morning is the most segregated time of the week.
Actually, look, no. Look, having all these out of wedlock babies is it's not Christianity. Now, if you want to get married, and if you don't, that's different. My thing is, I'm not going to sit up here and pretend like, oh, well, black people want another level and really doing. No, what we see in the community, the crime, the femicide, the downloads, giving the black women the HIV, okay, every single week, and having all these babies by different men and men you ain't married to, and the twerking on public social media. Let's not pretend. We got a lot of women and men claiming to be Christian, and they're not. Just like with the white people and stuff. Let's keep it all the way real here. And yes, we do have good. I believe we got the good and the bad in every group.
We have two completely different interpretations of what Christianity means, what it means to be a Christian, and what it means to follow the Bible. And it is not similar at all in any way. I do not think that most white churches want poor people at their church. That's why they don't have food pantries and this and that, because they do not want to draw poor people. They're looking for wealthy people to have somewhere to congregate, like the Sunday morning country club.
That's not 100% true, because I've actually been to a food pantry years ago, and I don't believe it was a black church, and they did have food available. I think, like I said, it's a mixture going on, black and white, whatever. Some do and some don't. But what she's saying is true for some people as well.
And it makes their conscience feel good to say it's about Jesus. But at the end of the day, if you ask them MAGA people, they'll say Jesus need his papers. If he come into the country, he can't come here illegally. The evangelicals follow the Bible better than us, honestly. What we had to realize is that what we think about God and about the Bible does not match. What we think about God and who we think God is does not match what the Bible is saying, because the Bible is not for us. That is my point. What we know of God and what we think about God does not match with the Bible. You can cherry pick out little things and find it, but the evangelicals are more on point with their interpretation of what it says than us, because they will listen.
Okay, so from what my understanding is, there are things in the Bible that she says doesn't align with Black people's beliefs, like condoning slavery, condoning telling Israelites to go into a town and grape and pillage the women and children and take what you want. Yes, that's in the Bible. Telling some slave girl that the daddy can have you, then the brother or son or something like that. Yeah, a lot of, I mean, not just Black people, a number of people don't agree with that, but some of them do. They even try to justify racism, saying, oh, something about the wheat or something like that, not mixing the wheat or the fabrics or something, and that means races together and all this other stuff. And treating foreigners a certain way bad, even though in the Bible it says to treat foreigners with respect if they're being kind to you and respectful towards you and to give people respect and all of that. I just think humanity is a mess all around the whole globe of every race. I don't believe in the chosen stuff. I see so everybody's just messed up. You do have good people within every group, but a lot of people are not good people. I don't care if you're white or Black, Asian, what any race. Look around, look at the world. Okay? People in general across the world just need help a lot. Okay?
Oh, and to that bishop of Living Faith Church, yeah, Bishop Raymond Johnson, the one that in his sermon last Sunday called Nikali, the woman that is going around calling churches a witch, he called her a witch, okay? And said that if you need help, there's WIC. I'm not obligated to help. Sir, you're a false prophet. What did God say about false prophets? Yeah, you are a false prophet. You have no business heading a church. You have no business being a bishop. You, sir, are ostentatious. And the rest of the congregation that was speaking in tongues and laughing with him, yeah, y'all are in a religious psychosis. You're in a religious psychosis. Seek help. Seek help. Yeah. The fact that you're letting that false prophet lead you is crazy to me. And there's so many pastors, bishops, and priests who are truly false prophets. And we're starting to see it. One by one, you show yourselves. You rear your ugly head for who you truly are. And that is, I'm not a man of God, if I ever knew one. Oh, and while we're on this topic, if we were to check that man's bank account and audit the church's financial records, we will truly see who's evil. Truly, we'll see who's truly evil. And it's not the woman calling for formula.
Watching these pastors come onto social media condemning that woman's social experiment is the exact same reason why I and so many people like me have left the church. I hear a lot of them saying, well, she wasn't a member. Most of these churches don't even help the members of their church. People are struggling right now. Even the ones that don't want to admit it are struggling right now. And instead of these so-called men of God and women of God saying, you know what, we need to do better. This was an opportunity for us to be better, and we did not do it. They are getting online and condemning her. Tax these fucking churches. Something is seriously wrong if you have to hop on a bus to go to church every Sunday where they're passing this tray around 2 and 3 times, and then you leave church and get on a bus and go back home. Meanwhile, your pastor is jumping into a Rolls Royce or a Mercedes and going to his 2 and 3 level home. Something is wrong. Tax these fucking churches.
Did she lie? Did she lie? I remember when a few years ago there was a church right next to me, and I actually tried to ask them a question. You know, a lot of pastors and preachers, they don't want you questioning what they say. And I'm not saying in an argumentative way, but they don't want to be challenged about the book, the Bible. They like questions like, if something doesn't make sense to you or you want to know something, some of them like they ain't trying to hear that. They don't want to be tested. They don't really want to debate anybody. They just want to say say what's in the Bible, say their little sermon and collect the money. He cut me off. He said, hold on. And then he got the collection plate like, I ain't trying to hear what you got to say. Like, no, it's time to get this money type of thing. So, do I think this social experiment is going to change anything? Not really, but for some people, there will be more people who will pay attention to the church they're going to and what kind of church they're going to and what kind of pastor that they are following type of thing. Maybe more people will do these sort of social experiments just to see. Okay, so let's get into something I wanted to show you right here at the end that I promised that I just had to show you. Okay, this film is called The Seventh Sign. I actually have a whole separate video about this that I didn't upload, and it's one of my most favorite movies in the world. It was so good. Now, it's with Demi Moore. Demi Moore. And I'm going to show you something that was said in this film that this social experiment made me instantly think about what was said in this film. So I'm going to ruin some things for you. I'm going to tell you real quick about the film. Okay, if you don't want to hear this, just skip over it. But basically, there is a woman. She's pregnant. She's having some difficulties. And she actually used to be very depressive before, when I think she had lost her baby before, had problems. And basically, a lot of stuff is going on in the world, like what we see right now. The unexplained weather events and disasters, and humans, usually men, taking the lives of humans and all types of things. That's absolutely horrible. So basically, the end of the world is coming. As usual, the average person doesn't believe or doesn't know this. And even people who are priests and preachers, they don't even believe it's happening. And if they do, there is someone who's pretending to be a priest who is telling them, oh, that wasn't a sign. It ain't coming. It ain't happening, y'all. It ain't nah. But he knows the truth. Okay. So basically, Jesus is on earth and he looks like a regular person and you just wouldn't suspect it type of thing. And this woman is very, very important. Very important. This baby. Okay. Something that has to happen that she didn't figure out until the end that she had to do to keep Judgment Day, the end of the world, Judgment Day, from happening. Okay, so I'm going to pause a little bit and explain parts of these scenes to you because of copyright issue. But baby, there's something said that I just had to show you. Let's get into it.
A freak, an aberration.
He says you'll never be able to explain this to the average person. They'll say that it was just some freak sort of natural disaster, catastrophe type of thing.
You don't think it is? I would, Colonel, except this kind of thing is... What are you saying? Baldahara stood here for 3,000... The village was built on the ruins of an older place, much older place.
He said to them, I don't know if you can hear it, he said, you're telling me that this town right here has been here for over 3,000 years? He says, yes, but it wasn't called what you think it's called at that time.
And it too was destroyed. But I don't think you'd want that to explain what's happened here now. Why is that? Because that place that was destroyed was called Sodom.
Sodom. He says, you're standing on Sodom. We all know about Sodom and Gomorrah. He says that's what this place was called.
Destroyed by the wrath of God.
Your baby's to infect. The 29.
How'd you know that?
Okay, so that's the man that's playing Jesus, and she's pregnant, and he knows when that baby's coming.
I saw your calendar.
Kind of nice, isn't it? I mean, there isn't a 20. Makes it special somehow.
It is a special day.
The sun shall be turned to darkness, and the moon to blood before the
great and terrible day.
Okay, so she met him. He's a young student of a rabbi, and he's seeing it. Look, the moon has turned to blood. So he knows about these signs, but he can't believe it. He can't believe this. No, the average person is not going to believe this is happening. Like a thief in the night.
Of course we believe that God will judge the world. But could...
Okay, so this is what I want you to hear. He went to a priest or a preacher about these things that's happening, these events, and is the end of the world coming? So listen to what the preacher is telling him.
It could be happening now.
It could happen any time. Jesus said that the end would come. That belief is fundamental to virtually every religion, Muslim. There are differences amongst them as to how it will actually happen, but all believe in a Messiah who delivers God's wrath in the world.
Then it could be happening. I mean, the moon has turned to blood.
Yes, in Revelation it is written that the...
Then you do see it.
With perfect clarity. I see a young man with a very large imagination. What you're forgetting, Avi, is that the prophetic signs are signs. They're symbols. They're not meant to be taken literally. They're poetry written by the great prophets to describe the greater concept of divine judgment, not to be checked off like a laundry list.
So the moon and the fish?
Coincidence.
He's saying it's a coincidence that, the fish have passed away in the ocean and the moon has turned to blood. And look at what we see. Look at how our earth is right now. I'm not going to lie to you. I did have a panic attack years ago, almost a panic attack, when a bunch of fish was passed away in the ocean. I thought the end at that time. I was like, oh my God, is it coming type of thing, when I was more religious at the time. And I just said, oh my God, no, these are the signs type of thing. Of course, as we see, it didn't happen. We're still here, but we do see these types of things happening all over the world, from climate change. And some people would say it ain't even climate change, it's the signs. There are people who believe this as well.
And you're forgetting the most important aspect of eschatology, that when the end comes, for those of us who are saved.
He says, yes, when the end comes, those of us who will be saved, we will have eternal life. So listen to this. This is the part I wanted you to hear.
Well, who'll be saved, Reverend? I mean, the Jew doesn't think it's going to be the Muslim. And the Muslim doesn't think it's going to be the Christian. The Christian doesn't think it's going to be the Buddhist. So what if nobody is saved? What if we're all wrong?
He says, look, Muslims think they're right. The Christians think they're right. The Buddhists think that they are right. He said, what if we are all wrong? What if we are all wrong? Y'all all think that you're special than the next person and that you're going to go into heaven. And he's saying, what if all of y'all are wrong? That all of y'all are going to go under judgment, no matter what you believed in, because probably you're going to be judged on who you were as a people, as a human species. What was going on wherever you lived? How did you treat humans? How did you treat women and children? How did you treat the animals? How did you treat your fellow man? What did you allow? All of these things, what did you participate in that might have been evil? Gang rapes and sex trafficking and fires and all types of stuff, horrible things that you will be looked at for all of that at the end of the day. Just because you were a part of a religion / club culture doesn't mean you're getting in. And that's what I thought about with the original creator doing this social experiment, where so many people are in shock that, oh my God, a Christian church, they wouldn't help a baby that needs food. Oh my God, Muslims, the mosque said they would help. Oh, the black churches said they would help. But you're a white woman and the white people who have these churches and all of them, you know what I'm saying? They didn't help. What, the Christians? The veil being lifted, that there are people who say they're a Christian who are not. And there are people who you think don't have God in them because they happen to have a different religion that you don't believe in, who are more compassionate and giving towards her. Now, again, I said globally, people got it going on. You got the way women and kids are treated, forced marriages to men you don't like or love, child marriages, caste systems, racism. If you're a different religion or tribe or color or culture, you can't come in. They don't respect their foreigners coming in and all of that globally. So this was a very important scene to me, because he said everybody thinks they're right. Everybody think they're the chosen. Everybody think they're special and this and that. But what if all of y'all are wrong in the end? And baby, that really was it, because the end was coming. So now that I've shown that part, let me just show you a little bit, because I just want to have some fun now with you and just show you a little bit more of this film, okay? It's just about 3 more minutes. Let's look. Okay, so remember I told you that there was a man who works for the Pope, and he is a priest, or so people think. He has been on earth for a very long time. So he was always masquerading around as a priest. So this old priest knew him when they were young. Now remember, he still looks young. He doesn't age. The other normal people have.
Can I help you?
but the resemblance is.
You always were nosy, Harold.
So if he's looking at photos, like that has to be him, and he just came in and said, "You always were nosy."
It is you, all right. But that was 70 years ago. But you haven't aged. You haven't changed. In the name of God, how?
In the name of God is how. I was cursed by him, you see, for what I had done.
Okay, he says, yes, I haven't aged because I was cursed by God. That's why I still look like this. For what I did.
I struck a man. Of course, he was. He was the Son of God.
He said that he hit Jesus and he got cursed for it. He was one of the Romans.
I am Cartaphilus. Cursed to walk the earth until the Messiah. And so it has been for 2,000 years. For me, there's been no escape from the misery of life.
So he says that he's Cartaphilus, the Roman soldier. He had hit Jesus and that God cursed him, that he can't die until the end comes. He has to walk the earth until Judgment Day. And he says now is coming so he can finally, he said the misery of living with y'all humans, the misery of can you imagine? You want to pass away. The earth is misery and you can't. And that's his punishment.
I always knew my sentence would not be eternal. I knew I could count on man for that. And so, I win. The end has come.
He says, I knew that this wouldn't last forever. I knew I could depend on humans to end this curse, meaning y'all are so wicked and evil that God is going to end the world and finally I can rest. I knew y'all would get this done. The judgment coming, Judgment Day, because y'all are so messed up. And now I win. Now I can finally pass away and get this curse off of me.
Death is at hand. Won't be stopped by anyone. Not her. Can't allow it. You understand?
So he took his life. You can't have people knowing this secret. You can't know who I really am. Absolutely not. So that's what he did to him. So now this is the end. The woman who's very important, he's pretending to be a priest, and she has these dreams of being there when Jesus was being persecuted and everything, but she didn't know who it was in the dream and what was going on. So, okay.
Into darkness. Then the earth will quake and the stars shall fall. And when the Lamb opened the seventh seal, it's from the corners of the earth.
Will you die for him?
So that really happened. That's him. He was the Roman soldier and he's persecuting Jesus, and she's in the crowd and he's asking her, will you pass away for him? Would you sacrifice for him? Okay. She thinks this is just a dream, but she keeps having it and she doesn't understand what's going on.
You hit my dream.
It was no dream. You were there.
You're not here to help? What the?
For a very long time. You are my deliverance.
Okay, so she's realizing, oh my God, this is not a priest. You actually want the world to end. Okay, he told her it wasn't a dream. You were there. So I guess she was I don't know, reincarnation or something, but she was there. He said that she was his deliverance because she was a witness to it. So she was chosen when the time is coming. Would you sacrifice? And I'm not going to tell you too much. All I can tell you is that you need to see this film. This is a classic film. Amazing. Demi Moore was amazing in it. And it makes you wonder if something like this could happen. And the thing is something like this could happen and y'all wouldn't even know it happened. You would think it was a normal day or the end is coming and all this craziness with the weather is going on and you don't know, someone could have stopped it from actually happening. So look, everybody, that is it for today's video. What do you think? Also, if you want to see this film, usually, I mean, you would probably have to buy it or on DVD off eBay or something. Some streaming services might have it, but I do know for a fact it is on Tubi. Tubi is a free streaming service with a boatload of amazing free movies on there. I mean, stuff that I hear people saying they want to see. Where can I find it? It's on Tubi and it's free. All you have to do is sign up and, have a password like your email, and it's free. You are not being charged. You can watch these films on your phone, on your computer, on your TV. Yes, if you have the Roku is on all that stuff or streaming thing, but it's free, baby. And if you want to see The Seventh Sign, go to Tubi. It's on there. I don't know how long they're going to have it. It's been on there for a while. So yeah, check Tubi out if you want to see this film. So that's it again. What do you think? I really want to know, what do y'all think about, well, the churches being exposed, some of them for their lack of kindness and lack of love for a woman who wanted to feed her starving baby. All right. Also, if you want some good wine, check out www.boydcrewwines.com. They have red wines. I believe they might have sangria, white wine. They have a variety of different wines, and it can be delivered to you right at your doorstep. www.boydcrewwines.com. So look, again, what do you think about her being called a witch? Okay, she didn't make them say no. She simply called. She didn't try to scam anybody. She called to see what they would say, and they didn't pass the test. That's what happened, and a lot of them are upset, and some of them are saying they're going to do better. Okay, and again, like I said, they didn't even ask her for a follow-up. Okay, I don't have it. What's your name, your number, an email? We'll get back to you. Let me talk to our congregation, the preacher. Do we have emergency money, or can we get some money up for you? Something type of thing. I just noticed that there was a lack of compassion and concern. I didn't really see the love being shown that much to her. So would this make you not want to go to church anymore? Or if your church was on one of these videos, would it make you not want to go back to it? And look, you don't have to go to church to help people. Remember, they say the church is in you. So you can start your own thing, giving to people and helping people. Even though you would think a church would help people, that's what they're supposed to be there for. People are always giving money to the church and tithing. And what do they do to give back to the people? Not just who go to their church, but anybody else that they want to help. Look, I showed you the first video of that trifling pastor talking about, oh, you don't go to a bank and ask for money. You don't go to the restaurant asking for money. This was absolutely insane. So I want to know, what do you think? Now, that was just one pastor. He doesn't represent all of them. But how do you feel about this social experiment? What do you think that it showed? And do you support the creator of this social experiment, or do you think she was wrong? Or do you think these churches are just embarrassed that the veil was, people saw that, they were not willing to help her, most of them. So what do you think? Let me know. Please like, share, and subscribe. Hit the bell and click all notifications so you know when I'm live and when I'm uploading. You all take care. Bye, everybody.